Hello, very good afternoon to you. A special meeting to elect a new leader of South Africa's governing party, the ANC, has been delayed by arguments over who is allowed to vote. President Jacob Zuma, who's been beset by allegations of corruption, is standing down. There are fears among members that the vote could split the party ahead of the next presidential election in 2019. Our correspondent Pumza Felani reports.
A call for change by members of the embattled African National Congress. These are some of the delegates who will be voting for the ANC's next leader. The party has never been more divided, but it's trying to present a united front. These people waiting patiently have the future of the ANC in their hand, and even South Africa's. The front runners are ANC veteran Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma and Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa. Under Jacob Zuma's leadership, the party has been plagued by allegations of corruption and cronyism, and the row over his governance has split the party. There's a desire that the vote should bring Africa's oldest liberation movement back together.
I hope that on the conference floor, people will find one another, because it has not been easy over the last 5 years to come here. I hope, it's a hope against hope maybe, but I hope that, the life of the ANC, which is coming out slowly, somehow surgery will be performed here today, and that the patient may be saved.
The ANC has been losing support in the last few years, and the two candidates have very different ideas on how to arrest that decline. It's been such a bitter fight that whoever wins will have the difficult task of bringing the opposing faction on board. But with a national election in just 2 years, many say unless the party cleans up house, it could find itself out of power for the first time since the end of apartheid. Pumza Felani, BBC News, Johannesburg.
Barry Sherman, a billionaire who founded Canada's largest drugs firm, and his wife Honey have been found dead at their home in Toronto. Police described the deaths as suspicious but said they were not being treated as murder. Barry Sherman was one of Canada's richest people. Angus Crawford reports.
One of Toronto's richest a house for sale. In the basement, a discovery. 2 bodies, a man and a woman. Barry Sherman and his wife Honey, one of the richest couples in the country. Police can't yet say what happened.
Well, the circumstances of their lead us to believe that there may be suspicious circumstances. It's an investigative tool. Until we know exactly how they died, we treat it as suspicious.
Barry Sherman, who was 75, is thought to be worth more than £2 billion. He made his money in pharmaceuticals, setting up Apotex in the 1970s and building it into one of the biggest drugs companies in the world. Stepping down as chief executive in 2012, he dedicated himself to charity work. Today, Canadian Premier Justin Trudeau said he and his wife sent their condolences to the Shermans' family and friends, and everyone touched by their vision and spirit.
I know him.
This woman, an employee, came to the couple's home to place flowers and pay her respects. She still couldn't believe the news.
People look up to him. Genuinely, I saw people are in shock and crying. And they are genuinely heartbroken.
For now, the investigation continues into 2 deaths which leave a community in shock and a family in mourning. Angus Crawford, BBC News.
Officials in California of the wildfires, which have driven tens of thousands of people from their homes, covers nearly 400 square miles. A firefighter died tackling the flames north of Los Angeles. Our correspondent James Cook has sent us this report from the town of Fillmore.
12 days on, and still it burns. More than 8,000 men and women are now battling this blaze, saving homes one by one. Not far from here, the fire claimed the life of 32-year-old Corey Iverson, a firefighter, a father and a husband.
He is survived by his wife, Ashley, his 2-year-old daughter, Evie. Corey and Ashley are expecting a second daughter this spring.
The fire has destroyed homes. More than 700 of them and another 18,000 buildings remain at risk. This is one of 5 homes in this tiny neighbourhood, which was destroyed when the flames swept through here so fast that firefighters had to abandon the area. Which ones survived and which were destroyed was a matter of pure luck.
Our neighbour has a shop in Santa Cruz.
Aaron Lawson and his family were among the lucky ones. Their home was scorched, but it survived, thanks in part to neighbours who lost everything but stayed to fight the fire.
The most rewarding thing, I think, is seeing them, some of the guys who lost their house, with us side by side to keep our houses safe those first few days.
All week they've been racing to contain the fire, and with fierce winds forecast again tonight, that battle is about to intensify. James Cook, BBC News, Fillmore in California.
The renowned scientist, television presenter Heinz died at the age of 89.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Great Egg Race, in which we ask teams of 3 to perform miracles in science and technology using the
With his trademark bow tie and his apparently unmanageable hair, the German-born inventor became known to British TV audiences in the 1970s and 1980s on The Great Egg Race, which encouraged teams to invent useful things out of everyday objects. Now, more than 1 million homes and offices across the UK still struggle to get good broadband, according to the communication regulator. Although coverage is improving, a report by Ofcom found that roughly 4% of properties in the UK were stuck with slow internet speeds. The situation is worse in rural areas, with 17% of homes having a poor connection. Right now, let's get all the sporting action for the... And at the BBC Sports Centre, it's Mike Bush. Afternoon to you, Mike.
Yes, hi there, Sean. Thank you. Another incredible batting display, first of all, by Australia captain Steve Smith has put his side in a really dominant position in the third test in Perth. They lead England by 146 runs with in hand. And remember, victory in this match would give them the Ashes back. Our sports correspondent Andy Swiss was watching. It's all the sport for now. You know, Crystal Palace with that 2-0 lead, heading at the moment to 14th in the Premier League. For the Eagles, I'll have more for you throughout the afternoon.
Mike Bush there. Thank you very much, Mike, at the BBC Sports Centre. You can see more on all of today's stories on the BBC News channel. The next news on BBC One is at 5:25. Bye for now.